a lot of prices, like $10 per night, or maybe 15, no,
50.
50 or $100. It depends of the. Maybe if you want to stay in the old Havana, in a casa particular, for example, it's very cheap. But if you want to stay in a hotel or maybe in a hostel, it's more expensive because they have maybe a breakfast service or maybe they have a pool. I don't know. It depends on what you like the most. Maybe you want to have a quiet and simple stay here in Cuba and you want a place with a bed and the basics. And you can find it for maybe $10 or $15. It's the regular price you can find in Airbnb, for example. It's very common, that price. Or maybe, I don't know, $20. It's the common prices that you can find. The most expensive, like 50 or 60 or even $100, are in Vedado, Playa, are very comfortable and very fancy. And I don't know why, but the the most common tourists that came here to Cuba don't like the places. They prefer this. They prefer to stay with the locals
Everyone
and
wants to be in
talk.
Old Havana as
it's
well.
it's very easy to find maybe a tourist that came here and stay in a place that you can say like, yeah, you really want to stay in that place, but yeah, they love it because it's completely different.
Yeah, it's like Holly said, if you're going to Cuba, why are you going to Cuba and you want to be having the same that you're going to find in
Exactly.
Mexico or another country? If you want to go to Cuba, it's because you want to know how the Cuban
I want
life
to
is.
try the local life
Yeah.
and
Yes.
see the.
And I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Because this is a question that's asked of me. And as you know, I stay, with family. So if someone wants to stay in a casa particular or a hostel,
Yeah.
how do they find it other than Airbnb, for example? Is there a way to find it? There's like a few casas that I follow on social media, like in Facebook and in Instagram. But what's the best route for someone who's coming in to find those resources outside of just Airbnb and booking something on Airbnb?
Well, sometimes I saw Airbnb and Hostel Work are the most common apps or platforms that people use to came here and book an accommodation. Because if you came here and you didn't have your accommodation, it's very complicated because you don't know. You are like walking there and you have an accommodation for me. I'm a tourist. No, it's not safe. It's not a safe way to maybe have your
Some people do that, though.
yeah.
I don't know.
People who likes adrenaline, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's a little risk. It's a little risk, but Hostel World is the other platform that I heard is very common and it's frequently used for tourists here. I don't know, TripAdvisor works here. I don't
Yes.
know.
Yes. Yeah,
But
yeah.
people use TripAdvisor for restaurants and other kind
Actually,
of.
Booking.com works here. as well.
Booking.com too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. People don't think about that because they think that Cuba is a ghost country.
Also, I'm currently in .com.
Yes, you can check that out.
Another
Yeah.
great resource to find
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
accommodation.
But it depends, guys. It's up to you about what do you want to find in Cuba, how much you want to pay.
Exactly.
But in Cuba, you can find everything. Don't just people think that Cuba is a poor country again. So you're gonna find
You
like
can find everything.
a falling apart building, and that's what you're gonna get. No, you can pay $300 for a luxury place if you want to, because it's very contrasting.
Also, do not be fooled by the exterior because some of the insides of these apartments are stunning, like jaw-dropping, beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
And it just blended in. You don't even know. And you come through the doors and you're like, whoa, they have everything. I have like a washer and dryer here. I have my dishwasher here. It's perfectly temperature controlled. Like everything's stunning. King size bed that's super comfortable. You're like, wow, what the? How does
guys,
this
how do
even
you get this?
happen?
How do you
How
get
does it
this?
even happen?
Yeah, that's what I always say that Cuba is like the Hawaii country, and this is one of the questions. Hey, why is Cuba like having these accommodations when you have this like so many issues? And I say, well, it depends. Well, actually, when it comes to accommodations, some of these like super luxury places, they belong to someone who is living out of the country.
Exactly.
So they have the budget to invest in that. And at the end, they say, well, they're rich or they're making a lot of money. Some people do, some don't. It's like I have the money, I invested, but it's because I'm thinking in long term. But at the end, they're not making a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's just because.
I have a colleague, friend, I don't know what to call him, but it's like I met him through Airbnb. And so like I have his personal number. So sometimes if I do want to find like a nice accommodation for someone who is, because there are some travelers who prefer, certain comforts that they have
Yeah,
at home,
sure.
and
Exactly.
they want something like an
Why
Airbnb
not?
that's a little bit more comfortable. So, and they don't mind paying a little bit more for that.
Yeah, sure.
So I do have a contact who lives in Miami and owns a few properties here. So he's Cuban American, and they're on Airbnb. And some people are like, oh, don't do Airbnb because, again, it's like people who are outside of the country, they're just getting the money. But a lot of them do employ individuals that live here in the country to take care of the homes.
Yeah.
And if you are staying in a home with Airbnb and you have amazing service from the home, the caretaker of the home, then leave a really good tip.
Yeah.
That's still like another way to give back. Is if you have someone who's incredible, they found you a taxi all the time, they told you all the good places to eat, like it doesn't matter what time of day it was, you could get a towel from them if you needed a new towel or whatever it is, and they're providing an excellent service. They're Cuban, they live here, so tip them well. Like they're taking care of you.
Yeah. And at the end, you're going to be supporting them. People don't think about how important is tipping in Cuba. That's going to be a huge help. Just because, of course, you're going to be tipping. Another tip is never tipping Cuban peso because the valuation is going, it's dropping all the time.